during Halloween, and I'd hoped it would stay that way as we headed for winter break. Looked like that wouldn't be the case. Wait. I peered more closely at the address and frowned. That's not even our town's zip code. And now that I thought about it, the Spirit Council lived on the 888th floor of the Sun Treader bookstore. Yeah, it's a real place, don't question it. How had the mail carrier even gotten all the way up there to pick up the mail?
Open the envelope. You'll like this task, Winnie,
came my grandmother's chirpy voice from somewhere above. Forgetting my confusion for a moment, I glanced up. The spirit of Lao, my grandmother, hovered around the chandelier. My white rabbit Jade was sitting at the top of the stairs, not too far from Lao. By the way, my grandmother was one of the spirits I'd accidentally unleashed back in the fall. The only spirit I was glad I'd let out of the spirit realm. When she entered this world, she'd done so through Jade, and had been anchored to my pet rabbit for most of her time here. Recently, though, Lala's presence in the human world had grown strong enough that she no longer needed to be anchored to Jade all the time. This development had its advantages, like the fact that I could bring my grandmother along as backup in potentially life-threatening situations without having to haul around my rabbit, which my Chinese school principal had once mistaken for a rat and then proceeded to have the freakout of the century. Long story. But it also had its drawbacks, like the fact that my grandmother insisted on sticking to me like rice to a sushi mat, and I didn't have an excuse to leave her at home. How do you know I'll like this task? I asked suspiciously.
I'm your overspirit. I know all,
she said with a mysterious air.
A little birdie told me all the details.
She glanced way up at the ceiling and whistled innocently. Oh yeah, Lala isn't just any spirit. She's my overspirit. That means we are strongest together, rather than separately, as cheesy as it sounds. When we've combined powers, we've become basically unstoppable. Well, as long as I've trained regularly to harness my shaman powers. With a bit of suspicion, I tore open the envelope. Even though I liked being the peacekeeper between Groton and the spirit world, I needed to mentally prepare myself for any tasks the Spirit Council assigned me. As stressful as school was, shaman tasks were like that times 100. I hadn't liked any of the tasks the Spirit Council had given me. They all tended to involve Groton's probable destruction and me risking my neck to save a bunch of clueless people. A piece of perfumed pink paper slipped out of the envelope. Quickly, I read it. To whom it may concern, you are cordially invited to attend the 99th Shaman Youth Camp. Footnote: attending Shaman Task Force members will have their regular positions filled with senior Shaman Task Force members. Held once every 10 years, the camp showcases the greatest talent from around the world. For 10 days, December 14th to 23rd, learn to hone your powers among the best shamans. The Shaman Youth Camp will conclude with the Shaman Youth Tournament, in which one shaman will be crowned the Shaman Youth Champion. Grand prize, a sparring lesson with a legendary spirit of your choosing. Runner-up, a surprise shaman goodie bag. In order to accept your invitation, please confirm your attendance with the Spirit Council via your Shaman Task Force badge. There was no mention of the world ending, or of me putting myself in a life-or-death situation. Actually, as far as tasks went, this was by far the coolest one the Spirit Council had assigned me. I get to spar with a legendary spirit of my choosing? I exclaimed. Immediately, my brain began creating a list of the most impressive figures from every Chinese legend I could recall. What if I won and got to spar with the Monkey King, who is pretty much one of the strongest gods ever? I'd lose fast, but I'd learn a lot. And I'd get to say that I'd sparred with the Monkey King. I got creamed by the Monkey King. I could see it on a t-shirt already. Not